Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, it's a world away, and we now got part 2 of Hachette Partworks build the Mk1a Spitfire. Now if you haven't seen my first issue of this, then by all means click on the link up here and that will take you straight to the first video where you can see the trailer and the advert that Hachette have run for this, and this looks one impressive model. This is a 1/18 scale model and it is available in your newsagents at the moment. You can do a subscription in your newsagents to get this weekly. Alternatively, go over to spitfiremodel.com and you'll be able to subscribe to this yourself. Now in the first issue we were creating the propeller here, looking just like that, and I referred to this as a nose cone. It's not a nose cone, I've been told, it's a spinner, so thank you for letting me know that. But that's what we did in the first issue. In this issue we're going to be putting a motor towards that. So what we'll do is we'll get the magazine out. Let me just show you what issue 2 looks like. It's $5.99. the normal issue price is $9.99. as you can see it's 1/18 scale, and there's the website, as I said, the spitfiremodel.com, that you can go over to subscribe to this yourself. Gives you some more information, but again, on the trailer that you saw in issue 1, it pretty much details everything that you do for this. In the next issue we've got some engine block parts, and we've got the first section of the fuselage there. The wingspan 620mm, the height 130, and the length 510mm. So looking forward to that. Let's get this magazine open. Now once again, when you do subscribe to this, you can get yourself some free gifts with part of the subscription here. They're all detailed to here. You've got a tin poster, you've got binders, you've got a mug, and you've also got a personalised plaque, which is absolutely brilliant. So get your name put on that. Once that's built, that'd be brilliant to display alongside the finished model. Now the magazine not only just tells you about what parts you've got, a little inventory there of what parts you're going to have, what we're actually going to be doing when we build all this together in this issue, but it gives some history about the Spitfire and the design of the Spitfire, and some history of Sailor Malin there, which I'll give in a second. But this is something worthy of keeping, and in fact I'm keeping this for both my father and my father-in-law. As I said, I do have a military background family, so they're really into something like this. Now I was going to be going to Duxford this weekend, but because of the rain, snow, hail, sleet, tornadoes, I've put that off for a couple of weeks. The weather's just not with it at the moment, so we've decided to go to Bletchley House this Sunday so I can see the Enigma machine and all still war related stuff, have you noticed. But let me tell you a little bit about Sailor Malin. Adolf Gijsbert Malin, better known as Sailor Malin, was a South African World War II fighter pilot. He led No. 74 Squadron during the Battle of Britain and was also pivotal in the Battle of Dunkirk. He was first commissioned as an acting pilot officer in 1936, and by the start of World War II he was a flight lieutenant. Malin died from complications of Parkinson's disease on the 17th of September 1962 at the age of 53. In the 1969 film The Battle of Britain, Robert Shaw plays the character of Squadron Leader Skipper. This character was based on Malin. So once again in this issue we're going to be doing the motor and some gears for the spinner, so without further ado, let's get cracking. And there we go, that's everything we've got in this part here. We've got a motor and we've got some screws, some brackets for it, and looks like we've got a coupling there for the gears for the prop there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring over our propeller on the jig here, and we're just going to remove that from the jig. Now I'd already put the spinner on. What I didn't notice last time though is, can you see I've got a little notch there? Well, we've got the same thing in the spinner, just there. So we need to make sure when we put it on, we put it on the right way so that section is into the notch there, and then that won't move around. Now we need the prop gear that looks like this. As you can see, this is metal round here, and this is a pretty impressive bit of tooling and design for that. Now this is going to attach to the spinner. As you can see, we've got 3 holes in there. We've got 3 holes in here. It doesn't matter which way round we put this in, because it's pretty symmetrical all the way around. So as long as we put it in so that it's holding that in place and it's flat like that, we're going to be putting 3 screws into here. Now the 3 screws we're using are 2x4mm screws, but you'll know them better as the silver ones, because this only comes with 2 screws on this one. You've got silver ones and you've got black ones. So we'll tighten this up. That's the first one in. Now I'm just looking at the connections that we've got for the motor on this, and I'm wondering, am I going to be able to demonstrate it for you in this issue? I'm just trying to think if I've got a connector, and I would really like to demonstrate it, so we'll see. But obviously I build these things kind of live and then I let them down, so I don't know that yet until we get there. But as you can see, the gear is now on, and that's held in place lovely. Now, as you can see on this, you've got some gold ends which can move. What you want to do is make sure they're lined up. So when we put the first bit of housing on, which looks like this, it's going to sit neatly just in there like that, so it's nice and flat. Now I'm going to hold that in place with my finger, and I'm going to bring over the motor looking just like that, because the motor is going to engage with the gear here. So keeping that in place, I'm going to just slot that in just like that, and the gear fits in place. Now the motor goes in with the flat sides pointing upwards, not down, so you've got the round side upwards in there. Now I'm holding that in place, so if I turn that, as you can see, the motor's going to turn. And then what we need to do is keep this all together by putting the top half of the housing on. So I'm just putting that around the way it's going to go. This is going to be going on this way, so I'll just keep it in place just until I've managed to get everything together here. And then when it's together, it should be flat at both sides here, looking just like that. What we're going to need to do now is we need to get 2 screws in here just to hold that together. And the screws we're going to be putting in here are the black ones, and these are 2x4 PB screws. So there's the first one going in there, and then we've got one more to put in here. Just like that. Nice and tight. And there we go. So that's the propeller on. See, it's got no resistance on here, which is absolutely excellent, and it's attached inside the housing there with the gear system on there. Now you could grease the gears up if you wanted to. I'll probably do that in post-production, but that will just keep them nice and lubricated. Now the next section, which is the plastic section, is part of the fuselage frame here, and it isn't used in this issue. So basically that is this issue absolutely completed. I am going to try it and see if we can get this powered up. Now, unlike an LED, I don't think there's any chance of me blowing the thing up. If it's too powerful, it will just spin ultra fast and I can shut it off straight away. But I've got some Arduino wires here, so I'm just putting them in there, making sure it's off. This is just a test box I've got from what was this one from? I haven't got a clue. It's one of my old builds. I think it might have been the X-Wing. No, it weren't the X-Wing. It was R2-D2 perhaps? Terminator? I don't know. Anyway, all this in here is just 3 AA batteries. And so I'm putting 4.5 volts into the motor here. And I think that's all the connections on the Arduino wire. So I'm going to hold it up, turn it on for a second and see what happens. There we go. Now, because of the frame rate, it's not going to look... it looks like it's not moving at all, but it is going around really well. Now 4.5 volts is absolutely perfect for this. And it feels like a nice fan. But there you go. That's it working. Really impressed with that. See, when I play with electrics, I get that mischievous smile on my face. I know we shouldn't have done that now, but I couldn't help myself, could I? So don't do that when you've got LEDs or lights. You've got a chance of blowing them. But with motors, shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, I've just edited this bit in to show you how these videos are on the fly and things happen while I'm doing the build. Just as I got to the end of the build and I started editing it, I get a knock at the door, and I've actually got from issue 1 subscription. Got delivered issue 1 and 2, so I've got these again. I'll give them to Mrs. Welderwayne and she'll sort them out. But what I did get, which I didn't get to show you last time, is the metal tin. Never was so much owed by so many to so few. And this is what the tin looks like, and that's what you get in your first delivery. So I thought I'd show that off. But really happy with that. Now, the next issue will be in the shops next week. Issue 3 is going to be in the shops next Wednesday. But because I've got the subscription through now, I'm going to be waiting for issues 3, 4, 5 and 6, which will probably be here in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. So just like the Bismarck, they are going to be behind the curve to the newsagents. Newsagents tend to get theirs first, and then the subscriptions get theirs afterwards. So you won't see a Spitfire video for a few weeks, but when the subscription comes, there'll be 4 in total coming for that. But anyway, if you did like that video, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.